The roar of the crowd turned to a venomous hiss as Tommy's cleats skidded across the turf, his face twisting in terror under the stadium lights. "Faggot!" the linebacker bellowed, pinning my little brother against the goalpost, the words slicing through the night like a switchblade. In that frozen heartbeat, I ripped off my helmet and charged, screaming the truth I'd buried for years. "Get off him, you bully! He's not the only one. I'm gay too." It was supposed to be our night, the state championship qualifiers in that dusty corner of Ohio where football gods were forged in the fires of Friday nights. Tommy, my shadow since he could walk, had finally earned his spot on the varsity line as a freshman, scrawny but scrappy, with my same crooked grin and our dad's unyielding jaw. I'd been the golden boy quarterback for 3 years, carrying the weight of Coach Harlan's dreams and the town's whispers on my shoulders. Scholarships loomed like lifelines out of Milford, a place where cornfields stretched endless and secrets festered like untreated wounds. But secrets have a way of clawing out, especially when they're laced with hate. That scream of mine echoed off the bleachers, a grenade lobbed into the heart of everything. The field went dead silent, then erupted. Not in cheers, but in a wave of jeers that crashed over us like a riptide. Tommy's eyes met mine, wide with a mix of gratitude and gut-wrenching fear, his uniform smeared with mud and the fresh sting of betrayal from the teammates who'd sworn brotherhood. I grabbed his arm, hauling him up as the linebacker. Bigoted brute named Derek, who'd always eyed us funny, spat at our feet. "You're both done," he snarled. And in that moment, I knew it wasn't just the game we'd lost. It was the fragile empire I'd built, brick by homophobic brick. We stumbled off the field together, the refs whistle a distant wail, my heart pounding like the bass drum in the marching band. Mom and Dad were in the stands somewhere, their faces blurring into the sea of shocked parents clutching thermoses of spiked coffee. I'd planned to tell them after graduation, in some quiet diner booth with pie and apologies. But protection doesn't wait for perfect timing. Tommy was shaking, whispering, "Why'd you do that, Jake? You had everything." I pulled him close, the scent of sweat and grass clinging to us like a second skin. "Because you're my everything, kid." Blood's thicker than any playbook. The fallout hit like a blindside sack before we even reached the locker room. Coach Harlan was waiting at the tunnel entrance, his clipboard clutched like a shield, face redder than our jerseys. "What the hell was that, Reynolds?" he barked, his voice a gravelly thunder that usually rallied us to victory. Now it just sounded hollow, laced with the disappointment of a man who'd pinned his legacy on straight-laced quarterbacks. I straightened, Tommy still glued to my side, and met his glare. "Truth, Coach. Tommy's been getting this crap for weeks. Notes in his locker, shoves in the hall. I couldn't let it slide." He rubbed his temples, glancing around as if the ghosts of past championships might offer advice. "This ain't the time or place, son. You know the scouts are here tonight. Ohio State, Michigan, they don't care about personal matters." The word hung there, euphemistic poison. Personal matters. Like my heart was some footnote in his win column. Tommy piped up, voice cracking. "It was my fault, Coach. I told Jake about the notes. He was just..." Harlan cut him off with a raised hand, eyes narrowing. "Both of you shower up and get gone. We'll talk tomorrow. And Reynolds, pray this doesn't tank your ride." The locker room was a graveyard when we pushed through the doors, steam from the showers mingling with the metallic tang of defeat. Guys who'd slapped my back 100 times now averted their eyes, towels wrapped tight like armor. Derek was there, of course, stripping down with a smirk that said he'd already texted the group chat. "Hero of the hour, huh, Jake? Saving your fairy brother." Laughter rippled, forced and ugly, from a few corners. I spun on him, fists clenched, but Tommy tugged my sleeve. "Don't, Jake. Not worth it." We dressed in silence, the fluorescent buzz overhead mocking us. As we headed out, my phone lit up, texts from teammates. "WTF, dude? You serious?" And one from Ryan, my best friend since Pee Wee League, the wide receiver who'd caught every Hail Mary I'd thrown. "Call me. Now, Ryan." The one person I'd almost confessed to last summer, During that bonfire when the stars blurred and his hand lingered too long on my knee. God, what if he knew? What if he didn't? Outside, the parking lot was a swarm of taillights and slamming doors. Mom found us first, her face pale under the sodium lamps, Dad trailing with that stoic farmer's gait, calluses from the mill hiding the tremor in his hands. Jake, what on earth? Mom started, but Dad's voice overrode, low and lethal. In the truck. Now. We piled in, the cab thick with unspoken accusations. The engine's rumble the only sound as we peeled out toward home. The drive was 20 minutes of hell, Milford's main drag blurring past, diner neon flickering eat, the Baptist church steeple piercing the sky like a judgment. Tommy shrank into the corner, and I stared at the dashboard, replaying the field in my head. Dad finally broke it. You threw away your future for this. His eyes flicked to the rear view, catching mine. We raised you better than to air dirty laundry in public. It's not dirty, Dad. I shot back, voice steady despite the knot in my throat. It's who I am. And Tommy, he's scared, same as I was at his age. Those guys were gonna hurt him bad tonight. Mom twisted in her seat, tears streaking her mascara. Hurt how? Baby, why didn't you tell us? Tommy mumbled. Didn't want to disappoint you. The cab went quiet again, the weight of 4 fractured hearts pressing down. Home was a split level on Elm Street, the kind with a chain-link fence and a swing set rusting in the yard, testament to simpler days. We filed inside, the screen door creaking like a sigh. Dad headed straight for the whiskey in the cupboard, pouring a tumbler with hands that shook. Mom herded us to the kitchen table, under the harvest moon lamp that Grandma had crocheted. Talk to me, boys. From the beginning. So I did. It spilled out like a dam breaking. The crushes on movie stars instead of cheerleaders, the prayers in youth group that went unanswered, the way I channeled it all into spirals and sacks to prove I was man enough. Tommy chimed in, his voice gaining strength. The whispers started after gym class, when someone saw him staring at the swimmer's build instead of the playbook. They called me names, left a magazine in my locker with "freak" scrawled on it. Dad's glass hit the table hard, amber sloshing. And you, Jake? How long? Long enough, I said, meeting his gaze. But tonight? That was for Tommy. I'd do it again. A beat. Then Mom reached across, squeezing my hand. We're proud of you for protecting him. But this, it's gonna change things. Dad grunted, staring into his drink. Change? It's gonna destroy. Church picnic tomorrow, Jake. Pastoral here. The mill. Hell, the whole damn town. He wasn't wrong. By morning, my phone was a battlefield. Voicemails from Coach rescinding my starting spot. Pending review. Texts from recruiters ghosting like cowards. Ryan called at dawn, his voice tight. Meet me at the quarry? We need to hash this. Hope flickered, maybe he'd stand with me. But as I slipped out, Tommy's sleepy "be careful" echoing, doubt nod. The quarry was our spot. Cliffs overlooking the Ohio River, where we'd skipped stones and dreamed big. What if this was where it all shattered? The sun was just cresting as I pulled up in my beat-up Ford, dust kicking under the tires. Ryan was there, leaning on his truck, that easy smile gone, replaced by a furrow between his brows. He looked good in the light, broad shoulders from summer weights, hair tousled like always. Jake, he said, pushing off to meet me halfway. We hugged awkward, the kind that lingers but pulls back too soon. Last night. Man, that was ballsy. Relief washed over me. You get it. He nodded, but his eyes darted away, to the river glinting below. Yeah, kinda always knew, I guess. The way you look at guys in the films. My stomach flipped. Did he mean himself? But then he shifted, hands in pockets. Look, the team's freaking. Derek's got half of 'em signing some petition to boot you both. Coach is spineless. He'll fold. I leaned against a boulder, the rock warm under my palms. So what are you saying? Ryan stepped closer, close enough I could smell his soap. Irish Spring, same as mine. I'm saying, I got your back, but it's gonna suck. My folks, they're old school. If they find out He trailed off, And in that pause, the air thickened with what-ifs. His hand brushed mine. Accidental? Intentional? My pulse raced. The romantic in me daring to hope this was the start of something real amid the wreckage. But hope's a fragile thing in Milford. We fight it together, I said, lacing our fingers for a split second that felt eternal. He squeezed back, then let go, glancing at his watch. Gotta get to practice. Sneak in the back. I nodded, but as he drove off, a truck rumbled up the access road. Deputy Harlan, Coach's brother, lights flashing silent. Reynolds, he drawled, stepping out with a clipboard of his own. Heard about your little show. Town council wants a word. Reckless endangerment. Stirring up the peace. My blood ran cold. Endangerment? For protecting my brother? This about the game or my orientation? He smirked, that family trait. Both kid. Milford don't take kindly to disruptions. I followed him to the station. The quarry fading in the mirror. Ryan's touch a ghost on my skin. The council meeting was a kangaroo court in the VFW hall. Veterans in faded caps. Church ladies with pursed lips. Dad sitting stone-faced in the back. They grilled me on intent, on how my confession had incited violence. Tommy's safety be damned. I held my ground, voice steady. I came out to stop the violence. Those boys were targeting my brother because he's different. Like me. Murmurs rippled, and Pastor Ellis stood, Bible in hand. The good book says man shall not lie with man. This ain't protection. It's perversion. Dad's chair scraped. First sound from him. Enough. My boy's a hero. End of story. But the vote came swift. Suspension from the team, community service, and a counseling referral that reeked of conversion therapy. Numb, I drove home through sheets of rain that turned the fields to mirrors of my soul. Tommy was waiting on the porch, rain dripping from the eaves. They kick you out? I nodded, pulling him into a hug. For now. But we're not done. Inside, Mom had dinner steaming meatloaf our comfort, but Dad was absent at the mill overtime. He'll come around, she whispered, but her eyes said otherwise. That night, sleep evaded me, the ceiling fan whirring accusations. Ryan texted, "Missed you at practice. Hang in." I replied yes, heart soaring despite the storm. We met at the old drive-in, screens dark this time of year, cars a buffer in the lot. He brought blankets and contraband beers, the kind we'd swiped from his uncle's fridge. To us, he toasted, clinking bottles. The word hung sweet, and when he leaned in, lips brushing mine tentative, fireworks bloomed behind my eyes. It was soft, exploratory. Our first real kiss, tasting of hops and hidden longing. We talked for hours, confessions tumbling like the river below the quarry. He'd questioned too, stolen glances in the showers, dreams that shamed him Sunday mornings. I was scared, Jake, of losing the game, the guys. You. I traced his jaw, the stubble rough under my thumb. Me too. But this feels right. Laughter bubbled, then tears, his, for the fear we'd both carried. In his arms, the world narrowed to heartbeats sinking, a romance forged in rebellion. But dawn brought betrayal's bite. Practice that week was hell without us. Whispers turned shouts, lockers vandalized with slurs. Tommy confided Derek had cornered him alone. Tell your queer brother to stay away, or next time it's not just words. Rage simmered, but Ryan pulled me aside after school, face ashen. Jake, I told my folks. About us. My world tilted. And, he swallowed. They flipped. Said if I keep this up, no more rides to college scouts. Coach knows now, through them. He's benching you for good. The punch landed harder than any tackle. Ryan's eyes pleaded, but I saw the fracture. Loyalty split between love and lineage. You chose them, I whispered, backing away. No, wait. But I was gone, tires spinning gravel as I fled to the field, empty under gray skies. Kicking the ball into the end zone, I screamed until my throat rawed, the net swallowing my fury whole. Weeks blurred into a haze of isolation. Dad barely spoke, his mill shifts doubling as he drowned in silence. Mom ferried us to counseling. A quack in Columbus who droned about reparative prayer, while I stared at the clock, counting exits. Tommy withdrew, grades slipping, his spark dimmed. Ryan tried, notes in my mailbox, calls I ignored, but trust, once cracked, leaks slow. Then the real storm hit. The championship game loomed, Milford's ticket to glory without its star. Scouts circled like vultures, but whispers of scandal scared them off. One night, Dad cornered me in the garage, tools clanging as he fixed the truck. "Jake, this town's eating us alive. The mill boys, they look at me different now. Like I'm raising defects." The word gutted me. "Defects? We're your sons, Dad." He deflated, wrench dropping. "I know. God help me, I know. Just wish it had been different." Tears stung. First I'd seen from him. Me too. But I can't hide anymore. For Tommy's sake or mine. He nodded, slow, a bridge creaking back. "Then fight smart. Get that scholarship another way. Prove 'em wrong." Inspired, I trained alone. Dawn runs through the fields, waits in the basement. Film study till my eyes burned. Tommy joined, our bond reforging in sweat. Ryan showed up one evening, bruised from a sparring with Derek. "Heard you're grinding. Let me spot." Hesitant, I agreed. Passes flew true again, sparks reigniting, but walls remained. "I'm sorry," he said during a water break, sweat tracing his collarbone. "I panicked. But I love you, Jake. For real." The words unlocked something, forgiveness tentative, but blooming. We kissed fierce under the hoop lights, makeup raw with need for redemption. Romance wasn't fireworks now. It was steady flame, warming the chill. Climax brewed at the game. A rivalry rematch against Rivorton, the town that had birthed our demons. Coach benched us official, but Dad pulled strings for fan seats. The stands buzzed hostile, slurs slinging like popcorn. Halftime, Milford down 14, Derek fumbling under pressure. Then it cracked. A Rivorton player, echoing our nightmare, targeted Tommy's replacement. Slurs flying on field. Chaos erupted, refs whistling, crowd bang. Couldn't watch. Slipping down, I hit the tunnel, heart hammering. Ryan found me, uniform grass-stained. "Jake, they're fighting for real. Coach is calling you in. Says the team's begging." Disbelief warred with fire. "Me? After everything?" He grinned, fierce. "Yeah, you." The roar as I trotted out drowned the hate. Teammates clapping backs, even Derek averting eyes. Tommy, from the bench, yelled, "Sack 'em, bro." Coach clapped my helmet. 1/4, Reynolds. "Make it count." The snap came, ball spiraling true to Ryan, touchdown. Momentum shifted, drives marching, defense stiffening with our return. Final play, 4th and goal, me dropping back, Derek blitzing clean. But he hesitated, a nod, almost apology, letting me thread the needle for the win. The field exploded, hats sailing, but our hug, me and Tommy, then Ryan pulling us in, felt like victory's core. Post-game, Dad enveloped us, tears mixing with rain. "Proud boys. So damn proud." Mom sobbed joy, the town thawing slow but sure. Months later, scholarships trickled, not Ohio State, but a D2 powerhouse in California. Full ride for leadership, not just arm. Ryan committed too, our future intertwined. Tommy bloomed, out and unashamed, founding a GSA at school. Betrayal's scar faded, replaced by deeper truths. Love isn't lost in coming out. It's found in the protecting. We drove west that summer, windows down, Ryan's hand in mine, Tommy shotgun blasting Springsteen. Milford shrank in the mirror, but its lessons rode with us. Humanity in the hurt, romance in the resilience. I'd lost almost everything once, but in protecting my brother, I gained a life worth every tackle. The California sun hit different. Blinding, relentless, baking the asphalt of San Diego State into a skillet where dreams sizzled or scorched. It was orientation week, and I was still pinching myself, duffel slung over one shoulder as I navigated the palm-lined quad, the ocean's salt tang whispering promises of reinvention. Tommy had stayed back in Milford for his sophomore year, Mom hovering like a hawk, Dad gruffly wiring cash for books. "Make us proud, kid," he'd said at the airport, that rare hug lingering. Ryan walked beside me, our fingers brushing accidental in the crowd. Public displays still a thrill laced with caution, old habits dying hard. Our dorm was a concrete bunker called Aztec Hall, bunk beds and cinderblock walls screaming fresh start to anyone who'd ever fled small-town ghosts. Ryan claimed the top bunk, tossing his gear up with a whoop. "No more quarry cliffs. We've got beaches now, babe." The word babe rolled off his tongue easy, a luxury we'd earned in stolen weekends back home. I grinned, unpacking jerseys and that faded photo of me and Tommy on the field. Pre-scandal. "Beaches mean Speedos. You ready for that exposure?" He leaped down, pinning me against the desk in a mock tackle, lips grazing my ear. "Only if you're modeling." Heat flushed, but it was playful, our intimacy a slow build, respectful of the wreckage we'd crawled from. No rush to bedrooms. We'd learned love thrives in conversations, not conquests. That night, we wandered to the bonfire on the beach, freshmen mingling with upperclassmen, guitars strumming covers of the Killers under stars that felt closer than Ohio's. That's where I met Elias. He was perched on a driftwood log, sketchpad balanced on knees, charcoal smudging his fingers as he captured the flames' dance. Tall, lanky, with skin like burnished copper and eyes that held the Pacific's depth. "Half Mexican, half something wilder," he said later. His laugh cut through the surf, warm and unfiltered, when a wave lapped too close, soaking his sneakers. "Story of my life. Chasing beauty and getting wet." Ryan nudged me. "Artist type. Go say hi. I'll grab drinks." Nerves fluttered. Flirting wasn't my game, not after years of coded glances. But Elias looked up as I approached, wiping charcoal on his jeans. "You got that quarterback stare. Ex-jock." I laughed, surprised. "Current, actually. Jake Reynolds, from Ohio." "You?" He flipped the pad shut, extending a sooty hand. "Elias Navarro, fine arts major. From LA? But don't hold the traffic against me." We talked easy, his murals in East LA alleys, my Milford madness. He didn't flinch at the coming-out saga, eyes lighting instead. Hero shit. Protecting family? That's rare gold in this world. Ryan returned, beers in hand, and the three of us clicked like puzzle pieces. Ryan's easy charm balancing Elias's intensity. But as the fire died, Elias's gaze lingered on me a beat too long, stirring something unnamed. Jealousy? No, curiosity. A spark in the embers of our hard-won peace. Classes hit like a blitz. Film study for me, dissecting plays till dawn. Ryan aced sociology, charming profs with that grin. Elias haunted the art building, but we'd collide at the student union, trading stories over tacos. "Your town's like a Norman Rockwell painting gone wrong," he teased one afternoon, sketching my profile on a napkin. The lines captured me raw, jaw set, eyes haunted. More real than any mirror. "What's the story behind the scar?" he asked, tracing the faint line on my cheek from a childhood brawl defending Tommy. I hesitated, Ryan across the table scrolling his phone. "Old wounds. Brother stuff." Elias nodded, not pushing, but his quiet understanding drew me in. Ryan noticed too, tension coiling subtle like a snap count delayed. That weekend, we hit a gay bar in Hillcrest, pride flags fluttering like welcomes. "Safe space," Ryan said, arm around my waist as we entered the neon haze. Music thumped, bodies moved free, and for the first time, I breathed without shoulders hunched. Elias tagged along, bi-curious, he admitted over shots, his hand on my knee under the table a question. Ryan laughed it off, but his grip tightened. "Three's company?" The night blurred. Dancing, laughter. A stolen kiss in the alley with Ryan that tasted of lime and longing. But Elias watched, and in his eyes, I saw complication brewing. Back home, Milford called like a tether. Tommy's weekly FaceTime. "School's better. Started that club. 5 kids already." Pride swelled, but shadows lingered. "Derek still giving shit?" He shrugged. Nah, after the game? He's radio silent. Dad's even talking football with me now. Dad's voice boomed in the background. Tell your brother to eat something besides kale smoothies. Laughter bridged the miles, but hung up, loneliness nipped. California's vastness amplifying isolation. Ryan sensed it, pulling me to the cliffs overlooking La Jolla. Seals barking below. Miss him. I nodded, head on his shoulder. Yeah, and you? Feels like we're drifting. He turned, cupping my face. Never. But Elias. He's into you. The admission hung, vulnerable. Saw it in the bar. And you? That spark. Honesty clawed up. Maybe. He's easy to talk to. Like he gets the scars without asking. Ryan's jaw tightened. But he nodded. Talk to him then. But don't forget us. Betrayal's echo made me flinch. Ryan's waver back home still stung. I won't. We made love slow that night, reaffirming in whispers, but doubt seeded. Fall deepened, leaves turning gold on campus elms. My first start came against UNLV, stadium electric, Ryan hauling in my throws like old times. Post-win, Elias waited with a sign. Throw it to Reynolds. We celebrated at a dive, his arm slung casual over my chair. Ryan demurred early, practice film, leaving us alone. He's cool, Elias asked, sipping whiskey neat. Yeah, just processing. Elias leaned in, breath warm. You deserve processing too, Jake. Not just surviving. His lips met mine soft, experimental. A question I answered yes, heart fracturing even as it raced. Guilt crashed later. Ryan's texts unread till morning. Where were you? Confrontation brewed in the quad. Rain slicking paths. With Elias, I confessed, voice small. Ryan's face crumpled, hurt, not rage. After everything, I thought we were solid. Tears mixed with drizzle. We are, but I need to figure this out. For me. He backed away, eyes stormy. Figure fast, or lose us both. The rift widened, practices tense. Passes sailing wild, Ryan icing me out. Elias became anchor, late-night sketches turning intimate. His touch healing fractures. Polly? He suggested one evening, paints streaking his studio. If it fits. Tempting, but Ryan's ghost-haunted, love triangular, cutting deep. Thanksgiving pulled me east, plain slicing clouds like doubts. Milford welcomed crisp, the house strung with lights. Tommy tackled me at the door, mom's pie steaming. Dad clapped my back. Heard about the wins. Knew you had it. Dinner swirled stories, but undercurrents tugged. Ryan's family at the next table over. His seat empty. A text from him. Safe flight. Thinking of you. Elias called midway. Miss your muse already. Warmth warred with ache. Back in Cali, reconciliation faltered. Ryan distant, Elias pressing gentle. Then betrayal struck true. A leaked photo from the bar. Us three entangled in laughter. Captioned Quarterback's Queer Quartet by some troll. Campus buzzed. Coaches calling, whispers trailing. Ryan confronted in the dorm. Photo glaring on his phone. This you figuring? Pain laced his words. It's not. But he cut me, voice breaking. Save it. Choose Jake. Him or me. Silence stretched. Then, I can't. Not like this. He stormed out, door slamming final. Heart shattered. I sought Elias. But he met me with hesitation. Saw the pic. Ryan's furious, blaming me. His eyes searched. Worth it? The question pierced. Love's cost again. I don't know anymore. Winter quarter dawned cold. Isolation my shadow. Tommy's holiday call. Heard about Ryan. Fix it, bro. Wisdom from a kid. I did, cornering Ryan after practice. Rain sheeting. I choose us. But open talk, not ultimatums. He wavered, then pulled me close. Deal. But slow. Elias bowed graceful, friendship intact. Hurt now, heals later. Romance with Ryan deepened, boundaries drawn. Nights tangled honest, vulnerabilities bared. Spring brought playoffs, stadiums roaring, our sync unbreakable. Graduation loomed, scouts buzzing anew. Dad flew out, pride beaming as we crossed stages. Tommy, visiting, hugged fierce. You protected me. Now protect your heart. I did. In Ryan's vows whispered under stadium lights. In Elias's distant cheers. Losses forged us. Betrayal's blade honing edges sharp but true. In America's sprawl, from Ohio fields to Cali shores, I learned. Coming out saves more than one soul. It redeems the world, one courageous snap at a time. Summer scorched San Diego into a furnace, the kind that melted resolve and baked secrets into permanence. Ryan and I had patched our seams, but scars itched, Elias's shadow lingering in group hangs, his easy wit a reminder of what-ifs. We'd agreed. Dates just us, no triangles, but the air hummed with unspoken. Trust takes time, Ryan said one evening, as we grilled burgers on the dorm patio, smoke curling like questions. I nodded, flipping patties, but my mind wandered to the field, where Tommy's latest email waited. Milford Pride Fest this year, first one. Coming, the invite tugged, a lifeline to roots I'd half buried. Ryan sensed it. Go. Show M. Reynolds' blood runs proud. His support, hard-won, warmed deeper than the sun. We flew budget, landing in Columbus heat, renting a beater to Milford. The town hadn't changed. Same faded billboards, the mill's whistle moaning at noon. But pride flags fluttered tentative from lampposts, a defiant bloom in concrete cracks. Home buzzed welcome. Mom's hugs bone-crushing, Dad's bout time gruff over coffee. Tommy, taller now, sported a rainbow pin on his backpack. Club's 20 strong. Even got Derek apologizing. Kinda. Laughter eased old tensions, but undercurrents swirled. Ryan bunked at his folks. Our nights stolen at the quarry. Stars witnesses to reconciliations tender and fierce. Pride Fest was a miracle, booths in the park, drag queens lip-syncing under oaks, kids painting faces free. I manned a table with Tommy, handing flyers for the GSA, Ryan's hand in mine public for the first time here. Whispers followed, but cheers drowned them. Pastor Ellis even nodded distant, Bible tucked away. Growth, Dad muttered, manning the grill for all. That night, bonfire by the river, we toasted, to survivals, to loves reclaimed. But California called, internships looming. Mine at a sports agency in LA, Ryan's coaching clinic. Elias, interning at a gallery, invited us to his opening. No pressure, just art. Ryan agreed, eyes steady. We're good. The drive up was easy, windows down, Springsteen blasting. Elias's show was electric, murals of queer icons, vibrant strokes capturing Stonewall fire and quiet intimacies. His piece of me hung central, Protector, titled, my silhouette shielding a smaller figure against storm clouds, light breaking through. Stunning, Ryan breathed, hand squeezing mine. Elias flushed, champagne flute trembling. Inspired by truth. Post-reception, we crashed at his loft, air thick with nostalgia. Talk flowed late, wine's loosening tongues. Ryan admitted, almost lost you to this guy. Elias laughed soft. Nah, you too? Endgame. But as Ryan dozed on the couch, Elias pulled me to the balcony, city lights sprawling. Missed you, he whispered, forehead to mine. As friend. The line blurred, his lips hovering. I pulled back gentle. More but can't. Ryan's my anchor. Hurt flickered, then acceptance. Fair. Deserve that. Friendship salvaged, but the almost betrayal nagged. My heart's wanderlust a flaw to forge. Fall semester ramped, classes a grind. My sports psych elective dove deep, resilience models, traumas echo in athletes. Professor Hale, a grizzled ex-coach out since the 80s, pulled me aside after a paper on coming out costs. Personal, lived it, lost a Super Bowl ring to the closet. His stories mirrored mine, mentorship blooming over office brews. Humanities in the comeback, kid. Not the glory. Ryan thrived too, leading a queer athletes group, drawing jocks from shadows. We'd host movie nights, broke back under blankets, discussions dissecting Brokeback's ache. Elias joined occasional, platonic now, his sketches evolving. Group portraits of us three, bonds unbreakable. Midterms crushed, stress fracturing sleep. One night, nightmare jolted. Back on the field, slurs raining. I woke gasping, Ryan's arms pulling tight. Still there? He murmured. Always. Lovemaking followed. Not fire but hearth. Slow, affirming, bodies mapping familiar terrains. Love you, he breathed post-glow. Through betrayals? I teased. Especially. Thanksgiving redux. Milford's second pride. Bigger, bolder. Tommy emceed, voice steady, sharing our story to cheers. Dad spoke halting. Didn't get it at first, but sons like these teach a man grace. Tears flowed free, Ryan's family thawing. His mom hugging me tentative. He's happy. That's enough. Winter break, we road-tripped Big Sur, cliffs hugging sea, hikes healing. One trail, overlooking waves crashing eternal. Ryan dropped to knee. Not ring, but promise. Marry me? Not now, but when life's ready. Overwhelmed, yes, tumbled. Romance peaked there, humanistic core. Love as choice, daily rebuilt. Spring brought trials. Agency internship soured. Boss, a slick agent. Outed my past in a team-building roast, jokes landing like punches. Milford's martyr, huh? Clients shy from drama. Rage boiled, but Hale's words echoed. Comeback. I documented, HR looped, boss sidelined. Victory small but mine. Ryan's group hit snag. University admin bulking funds. Controversial. We rallied, petitions circling, Elias designing posters fierce. Climax at a board meeting. Testimonies raw, Tommy flying in for impact. Hid once, nearly broke me. This saves kids like us. Approval passed. Teary huddle post. Playoffs raged. My arm cannoning us to semis. Elias cheered sidelines, friendship pure. Post-win, Ryan's kiss salt-kissed, victory sweeter shared. Summer again, engagements whispered to families. Dad's toast at a backyard barbecue. To Jake, protector, pioneer. Tommy's grin. And to Ryan, best almost brother-in-law. Elias, visiting, sketched the scene, capturing joy unscarred. Betrayals past paled. Life's conflicts, navigated, strengthened. In America's heartlands and coasts, our story wove. Dramatic falls, romantic rises, humanistic holds. Lost almost everything once. Gained a legacy enduring. Junior year dawned with a vengeance. The campus foliage turning fiery as if mirroring the inferno in my veins. The engagement buzz had faded into quiet planning. No Vegas elopement, but a courthouse vow in spring, intimate, true. Ryan and I balanced rings subtle, silver bands etched with field coordinates from that championship snap. Our origin, he said, slipping mine on during a dawn jog, Pacific mist cloaking us soft. But under the bliss, storm clouds gathered. Tommy's call mid-semester, voice edged, Jake, trouble at home. Milford's Pride Fest had ignited backlash. Anonymous threats to the GSA, slashed tires on rainbow-adorned cars. Derek's crew, I pressed, pacing the dorm. Tommy sighed. Worse, new kids, outsiders. Dad's pissed. Says it's on us for stirring. Guilt twisted, old protector mode surging. I'm coming. 2 weeks till break. Ryan nodded fierce. We both. The flight east was turbulent, mirroring turmoil. Landing in Ohio chill, we rented wheels, blasting toward Milford under lead skies. Home loomed altered, flags torn from poles, the park booth site cordoned with caution tape. Mom met us at the door, flour dusted from pies, but eyes shadowed. It's ugly boys. Pastor Ellis preaching fire now. Says we're Sodom reborn. Dad, in his recliner, grunted. Town's splitting. Mill laid off 5, blaming distractions. Tommy briefed over dinner. Maps of hate scrawled on napkins. Swastikas on lockers. Slurs spray-painted on the water tower. They hit the school. My locker, Jake. Go back to Cali, fag enabler. Rage boiled, but Ryan's hand under the table steadied. Evidence. Tommy nodded. Cams caught shadows. Cops dragging feet. Deputy Harlan's kin to half. We dove in, canvassing neighbors, interviewing kids. Elias, looped via video, mocked up awareness flyers. Hate hides. Light it up. His voice crackled supportive. Channel that quarterback grit. Days blurred. Town halls tense. Where I'd stand, mic in hand. This isn't about orientation. It's about safety. My brother deserves school without fear. Murmurs mixed. Some nods, others hisses. Pastor Ellis cornered postmeet. Leading lambs astray, son. Ryan stepped up. Or showing him compassion. Reverend. Check your book. Climax brewed at a vigil. Hundreds gathering park under lanterns. Candles flickering defiance. Tommy spoke first, voice unbroken. I came out because my brother did, for me. Hiding hurts more. Cheers swelled, but shadows shifted. Rocks sailing from the treeline, shattering glass. Chaos. Screams, shoves, sirens wailing. I shielded Tommy, Ryan tackling a hooded figure. Derek's build unmistakable. You! I roared, pinning him as cops swarmed. Interrogation room reeked stale, Derek cuffed, face bruised. Wasn't me, he lied, eyes darting. But evidence mounted. Texts, accomplices flipping. Turns out, resentment festered. His scholarship lost to scandal's ripple, blame deflected. Ruined us all, he spat. Heart ached. Not hate, but pity for the broken boy bullying to mend. You ruined yourself, man. Hate's a dead end. Charges stuck, town exhaling collective. Dad clapped my shoulder post-court. Handled like a man, proud. Reconciliation deepened. Barbecues with Ryan's folks. Pastor softening over coffee chats. Betrayal's root unearthed. Healing sprouted. Back in Cali, scars tender but mending. Ryan and I dove deeper, couples therapy. Not crisis but growth. Unpacking Milford's ghosts. Your protector's curse, the counselor said, gentle. Balances with vulnerability. Nights, we'd trace tattoos, his a rainbow helix on ribs, mine a goalpost silhouette. Intimacy evolved. Conversations post-love. Dreams shared raw. Elias's gallery show that quarter featured our vigil, candlelit portraits, emotion etched vivid. Tribute, he said, champagne clinking. Friendship thrived. His new beau a poet with kind eyes. Happier? I asked. He grinned. Yeah. You? Senior year loomed. Capstone projects crushing. Mine, thesis on queer athletes' mental health. Interviews weaving personal with stats, resilience rates post-coming out, betrayals toll quantified. Professor Hale mentored fierce. Publish it, kid. Change the game. Ryan's coaching certs aced, his queer group expanding campus-wide. Spring break, we surprised Tommy, road trip to Niagara, falls thundering like applause. College apps. I quizzed, mist soaking us. He beamed. Your school. Aztecs duo. Laughter echoed. Brotherhood eternal. Wedding day dawned soft. Courthouse steps. Mom dabbing tears. Dad stoic with corsage. Vows simple. Through fields and falls, I choose you. Rings exchanged. Kiss sealing under cheers. Reception backyard. Milford kin mingling Cali friends. Toasts blending accents. Elias sketched candid. Capturing joy unfiltered. Honeymoon. Cabin in Yellowstone. Geysers erupting like emotions long suppressed. Hikes hand in hand. Nights by firelight. Romance matured. Humanistic depth. Love as partnership. Weathering storms. Postgrad. Offers flooded me to NFL analytics in Denver. Ryan assistant coaching there. Tommy enrolled dorm near ours. Elias's murals graced pride walls nationwide. Years folded. Promotions. Tommy's coming out ease. Our blueprint. Dad's retirement speech nodding, my boys taught me love's no sin. Betrayals? Faded footnotes. Conflicts catalysts to compassion. In America's vast tapestry, from Ohio turf to rocky peaks, our narrative endured. Dramatic safeguards, romantic redemptions, endings woven human, whole. Decades blur etched lines on faces once boyish, but the fire, that unquenchable spark from a championship field, burned steady. Denver suited us, mile-high air sharpening edges. Rockies framing a life rebuilt deliberate. Ryan climbed coaching ranks, now offensive coordinator for the Broncos farm team. His plays as bold as our early kisses. I consulted for the league, thesis evolved to TED Talks. Out on the field, why protection beats perfection. Tommy, grad now, taught PE in Milford, GSA chapters sprouting like wildflowers under his hand. Marriage deepened roots, house in the foothills, deck overlooking aspens turning gold each fall. No kids yet, but Foster's rotated, teaching us patience's grace. Elias visited annual. His civil union to the poet solid, art bridging coasts. Still sketching you too, he'd say, flipping pads of our evolutions. Wrinkles as badges, laughter lines legacies. Conflict resurfaced subtle. Ryan's promotion meant travel, nights alone stretching. Miss your calls. I'd text from empty beds. He'd reply, home soon, love. Playbooks wait for no man. Loneliness nipped, old insecurities whispering, Elias's echo, or Milford's mistrust. Therapy revisited, not fracture but fine-tune. Communications the huddle, our counselor quipped. Climax crested unexpected. Tommy's call, urgent. Dad's sick, heart, bad. Flight panic, Ryan clearing schedules. Milford Hospital hummed sterile. Mom pacing linoleum, Tommy's hand in mine. Dad, pale in gown, gripped weak. Knew you'd come, son. Stories flowed bedside, football follies. Coming out courage. Regret nothing, he rasped. You boys made me better. We held vigil. Ryan's prayers blending agnostic hope. Elias wiring sketches of family unbroken. Dad rallied slow, rehab a grind, but our presence anchored. Betrayal's ghost? None. Pure solidarity. Love's quiet roar. Recovery home, we rotated stays, cooking meals, trail walks gentle. Pastor Ellis visited. Hand on Dad's shoulder. Grace abounds. Full circle, hatred's husk shed. Back in Denver, shifts settled. Ryan delegating more. Us prioritizing sunsets on the deck. Wines uncorked, dreams revisited. Kids? He mused one twilight, head on my lap. Adopt. Give a brother what we had. Heart swelled, protector's mantle passed. Tommy met someone. A barista named Kai. Gentle giant with a poet's soul. Wedding theirs mirrored ours. Small, heartfelt, Milford Park reclaimed for joy. Dad danced awkward, Mom beaming. Our toast. To fields protected, futures embraced. Elias's retrospective toured, our vigil centerpiece, now national icon. Interview, he credited. Jake's story sparked it. Sacrifice to light. Fame touched light. No tabloids, but invites. Panels, podcasts. Ryan joked. My husband's a celeb. Book the nanny. It came swift. Kai's accident. Car wreck on icy roads. Tommy shattered, calling midnight. He's gone, Jake. Just gone. Grief tsunami. Us flying immediate. Funeral riverside. Kai's ashes scattered where they'd first kissed. Tommy leaned hollow. How do I protect now? Arms around him. By living. For him. Healing communal support groups. Ryan coaching Tommy through dark. Me scripting memorials. Elias painted tribute. Kai ethereal. Hand extended to horizon. Time's bombed slow, but Tommy resurfaced. Dedicating a GSA scholarship. Kai's name eternal. Our own milestone. Adoption approved, twins, brothers, 5 years old, from foster churn. Naming them after fields. Hayden and Ford. Hayfields and Fords crossed. Chaos joyful. Diapers, tantrums, tiny hands in hours. Ryan's lullabies husky. My bedtime tales of quarterback quests. Anniversary 10th. Quarry revisit, Ohio roots calling. Picnic under stars. Tommy and new partner joining. Elias toasting via video. To losses that built empires. Laughter echoed. Fireside. Dad's passing gentle, heart giving out post-game watch. Broncos win on TV. Eulogy mine. He came around late but loved fierce. Protected his own in the end. Milford mourned collective, pride flag half-mast then full, his legacy layered. Years stacked. Twins to teens, football stars themselves, out early with our blueprint. Tommy's school thrived, Kai's memory muraled. Ryan's head coach call, Super Bowl whisper. My book deal, Field of Hearts, One Brother's Stand. Romance endured, dates stolen, passions reignited, vulnerabilities cherished. Betrayal? Distant myth, conflicts conquered, climax in daily choices. In America's grand arc, from that fateful field to family hearths, we proved. Coming out protects not just one, but generations. Lost almost everything once. Gained infinities. Humanistic close. Love's the ultimate play, called eternal.